Hello, it's Orla from Performance Yoga here, which is physiotherapy-led yoga. I'm here in our studio in Limerick, which is in the Castletroy Shopping Centre upstairs. I'm going to take you through a couple of moves right now that will help to lengthen out the hamstrings and switch on and strengthen up the glutes, and hopefully we'll work a little bit on the core part of the body as well, this trunk area as well. So go with me, go with the flow and enjoy. Start by lying on your mat. Come right back, settle in, do all those little necessary jobs like fix your hair and, clear any wedgies. Once you're lying back on the mat, try to allow the back part of your body, from the back of your head to the back of the shoulders, backs of the elbows, the middle part of the spine, the glutes, the hip area, the feet, basically everything that's touching the mat. We want to try and let that switch off a little bit and relax. Once those parts of the body get a little bit more comfortable on the mat, a little bit more relaxed and restful on the mat, send your attention towards the front part of your body, trunk. And start sending a slightly deeper breath down to the base of the lungs. When you do this, you might notice that the belly rises with your in-breath, falls with your out-breath. This gives your body and your mind a little bit of time to settle in, to prepare, to switch off from whatever else you've been doing so far today. Helping to get that little bit of connect between your mind, your body and your breath. So important before you start a physical practice of yoga. Just to give yourself an opportunity to slow down. We lead busy lives. Slow down, just for a few moments. By all means, if it's been a busy day, pause the video now and let yourself do 5 minutes or so of that. It would be brilliant for you if you want to keep going. Start by moving the toes, so the farthest away part of your body from your brain. We start to wiggle around those toes a little bit. Come up onto the balls of the feet, back onto the heels of the feet, just getting the ankle joints moving as best as they can. We're going to cross one leg over the thigh, just like I'm doing, ankle onto thigh, and you can start to roll around that particular ankle joint. Now once you have your leg crossed over like this, you might feel a hint of a stretch in the outer right hip. We're going to deepen that stretch now if you're able. Put your hands around your left thigh, and once you get there, you can rock very gently side to side. As you're rocking side to side, you'll likely feel a gentle stretch around the lower back, or almost a massage from your own body on the lower back part of the body. The more you push your bum down to the mat, the more you're going to feel that massage through the hip area. Opposite side. So pop down the right foot or the opposite foot, hook over the other side, and just take care of your ankle first. Start doing little twirl arounds of the ankle joint. Nice and easy. And then we'll deepen that outer lift hip stretch or glute stretch. Hang on to the back of the right thigh and gently over and back. While you're doing it, soften the face muscles a little bit, so any jaw tension, neck tension, just let it begin to melt away. It's all part of the physical practice, the little muscles and the big muscles softening out together. And then for the backs of our legs, the hamstrings, we give them a little wake-up call by sending the legs all the way up to the ceiling. Now you can have a little bend in your knees. The knees don't have to be flat out straight. But just holding the legs up like that, pushing the heels up to the ceiling, toes more so back to your face. You're going to feel like these tummy muscles work a little bit, but hopefully you feel the back of the legs getting a gentle stretch out as well. We want to go a little stronger for our core. Your arms reach up to the ceiling as well. Breathe into the belly here, it does help. Reach the heels and the fingertips lively up to the ceiling. And then knees to chest, we rock that one out. Quite simple. Bring your feet down to the mat. Take the two knees, join them together, and take the knees all the way over to one side if you're able. Arms go over to the other side, and you can look to the other side. Have a nice deep breath there. Opposite side, knees go one way, arms go the other way. We get a nice side of body stretch there. And always try and get a nice deep breath in at the end of each position. Come back to the middle, feet together, knees apart, and match your feet up to each other now. So it's heel to heel, toes to toes, ball of foot to ball of foot, and put a gentle bit of pressure into the feet here. So it's like you're squeezing the feet together a little bit. Gentle groin stretch is what that'll give you. But the action of the feet pressing in together will also get the bum muscles working a little bit harder as opposed to just making the shape. Fab. You're ready to rock and roll. Bring your knees together, roll onto your side and push yourself up to sitting, or you can rock forwards and backwards a couple of times. And as you're rocking, cross the legs and you're going to end up in a seated position. Now, I like to use these blocks when you're sitting. You can use a couple of books at home or an old cushion or something. When you sit up onto the blocks, it gives your lower back an opportunity to stay up straight. Without the blocks, especially if you've been at a desk for the day or driving a lot, the back can round a little too quickly here. So I want a tall spine. I want you to keep your back nice and safe. So sit yourself up, get yourself organised, cross those legs if it's comfortable for you, and reach the arms all the way up and overhead. We're going to do a gentle shoulder warm up. Hands come down to the shoulders, touch your elbows off each other, and give yourself nice big circles there. Good big round circles. So I like this done without any pain. So if there are pains coming out of the shoulders doing this, just make your shoulder circles a little smaller. Eventually, hopefully over time, you'll get round into slightly bigger circles. Just listen to your body. If it's sore doing a particular move, back off that move. Make it smaller. And then we'll change the direction. So you start off maybe with a small circle just to see how big can you go without it being sore. Keep your breath nice and full. And then we just shake off the arms. Pop the right hand down on the floor, left arm up and over. Keep your two bum cheeks glued down to the blocks. One might lift, so you want to keep a reminder from your brain to hip to keep that bum muscle down. Up and over to the other side. Good. We'll do a gentle twist now, turning all the way to the right. Right hand goes down behind you, opposite hand onto the other knee. You might find you've rounded here, lowered down, so I want you to really work on the length of your spine. Big deep breath in, and as you exhale, you can usually work your way around a little bit further. I just have the fingertips of my back hand on the floor. If I put the palm of my hand down, I'll end up having to lean back when you're on the blocks. Come all the way back, all the way around to the opposite side, fingertips down behind you. You lift your chest, lengthen the spine. Opposite hand presses against the thigh to help get you around a little further. And relax those shoulders. Sometimes shoulders can pull up near your ears here. They're only trying to help you get round further, but actually it's better off if you leave them relaxed here. Perfect. Curl yourself into a little ball, take the feet together, hands around the feet. Let your chin go down to your chest and give yourself a gentle stretch here. You'll be tapping into the groin, you'll be getting a nice stretch across the back of the body. And we'll work the other direction for the spine in cat-cow. So slowly bring yourself onto all fours. Your blocks can just be moved away, obviously. Hands go under your shoulders and spread out those palms, nice and wide. Knees underneath your hips. Point your toes away from you today. If you cramp in the feet, or you're likely to cramp, keep the toes curled under. Inhale in your own time, your head and tail all the way up, arching your back in one direction. And exhale. Push the ground away, tighten your bum muscles, pull your belly up away from the mat, back stretch in the other direction. Now if you're experienced to yoga and you're familiar enough with this cat-cow pose, it's one of the basic poses in yoga, I'd like you to shine your biceps forward as you're doing your cat-cow. I'd like you with more experience to push the toes down onto the mat. When you firmly press the top of the foot and the toes down onto the mat, you'll find that the exercise gets a little more challenging. It becomes like a harder exercise to do. It demands a little bit more strength out of your body. Turn it into a tail wag, hips to one side, hips to the other. Limbering up really here, just loosening out the back of the body bit by bit. And all of these slower moves are so essential before you go on to any of the strong big moves, the single leg moves, the balance moves, the upper body moves. We've got to load up those arms in preparation. Spread out the hands wide, baby fingers out to the edge of the mat. We curl the toes under, send the bum back, and then all the way up to the ceiling. In that position, we're going to just pedal the legs gently, bending one knee, straightening the other. You might know this pose now, downward facing dog, so let your head hang. Give yourself a little bit of time here. Feet together. Take one foot off the mat. I'm taking the right one and then I'm reaching it forward as far as it can go. Drop down the back knee. Float the arms up and overhead. And then exhale the two hands down, down, down. Into your heart center, we call that position. Relax the shoulders, give them a little shrug off. Point the back foot away from you. Lift your chest, lengthen the spine. We're going to twist the upper body here to the right, turning it as far to the right as we feel comfortable. And then left elbow is going to lower down lightly and touch with the knee. Once you've got that position, try not to cramp down or lean down onto that leg. Instead, lightly touch it and almost push yourself up away from it. You maybe are able to look at the wall behind you at this point. Give the bum muscles a small little squeeze here just to help you along. Big breath in and out. And then plant those palms down again. Curl the back toes under. Lift back the right leg. You'll be in downward dog before you know it. Pedal out those legs nice and long, nice and strong. And then 2 feet together, we take the opposite leg off the ground. Reach it back. Take a big breath in. Exhale, swoop it forwards as far as you can. You can always bring the back knee down to help you out here. Good. Inhale, reach those arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, the hands together and into your heart center. Lift your chest. The lift in your chest is what's going to really help your core get strong. Exhale, twist. You can curl the back foot under here. It does make it a little bit more supportive. Bring the elbow lightly down to the outer knee. And instead of collapsing down here, the goal is to lift up out of that position. Lift up, twist round, breathe. Focus on something that isn't moving. Pick a point on the wall. Keep breathing. And then hands go down. The back foot's curled under. It's ready to go for downward dog. Pedal out those legs again, getting into the hamstrings as best you can. The next move is going to stretch our hamstrings initially, and then we're going to build it into a quad and glute strengthener. So slowly walk those feet toward the middle, bring your hands towards the middle, and we're going to bring those blocks back into action. If you don't have blocks, a small chair pulled in, stool, anything like that will do. If you have blocks, put them about 2 fist distance apart, straight ahead of you. Perfect. Let's lift up the hips. Now, left foot points to left block, right foot points to right block. Keep a nice knee bend and try not to let those knees drift in. Keep them right out, same width as your blocks apart. The goal at the moment is to try and keep a straight back, but to stick your bum out behind you and keep a nice little bend in the knees. Tummy as close to the thighs as possible. Not leaning on the blocks at all, rather just using them as a little bit of light support. Lower the bum down a little bit and then slowly lift the bum up as high as the bum goes. Your hamstrings here, backs of the thighs, are getting stretch in that position. I much prefer that at the moment for a hamstring stretch than straightening the knees and just bending round like this for your back. Much healthier and stronger for your core to hold that straight back position while driving the hips up away from the heels. Push down into the heels if you want to get a stronger stretch. Stick the bum out behind you and up a little bit if you want to get a stronger stretch. Brilliant. Now we're going to bend those knees, bring the elbows up onto the thighs, and bring our hands back into our heart center. So we've got a wide-legged chair pose here. Chair pose is really for here. We're going to make the glutes work though as well. How we make those bum muscles work? Gently push your hips forward a little bit. Lift your chest a little bit, float the arms out ahead of you. Relax the shoulders. Don't clench the toes. Breathe. How long can you do it for? Another breath. Bum pushing forwards. And then slowly bring the hands back down to the two blocks, tummy to thighs. And we're going to lift the hips again one little bit. So we're back into these hamstrings. Lift the chest. We're going to go for a single leg hamstring stretch now, one leg at a time. Heel toe those feet together. And take one leg out behind you. As that leg goes out behind you, you'll find it's this standing leg that has to do the work. Point the toes of the back foot to the mat. Fingertip pressure to the blocks as you lift your chest. Begin to lift the left leg's hip. That left hip, the more you can lift it towards the ceiling, the more work the leg has to do in general. Breathe, it's getting hot. We're going to finish that move by slowly bringing this right knee up in front, all the way up, 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 up. Grab it up there in front of your chest. That's building heat. Strengthen, lengthen the legs. Lower it down, and we do the other side. Powerful. Let's try the other side. Reach all the way up just to get a gentle back stretch. Exhale the hands all the way down. Heel toe those feet together. This prepares us for warrior 3 in yoga if you're familiar with the yoga moves. Reach out the left leg out behind you. Point the toes of the left foot towards the ground. It doesn't matter how high or low that back foot goes. Keep a small soft bend in the right knee. Come up onto the fingertips. Lift your chest to straighten out the back. There will be wobbles. You will feel the need to breathe deeply. Work on lifting your right hip now a little bit and feel that heat, that energy, that shake come into the right leg. It's great. If you can manage this for about 6 deep breaths each side, you're doing great. Slowly then, we're going to bring this left knee back up. Stand right up, get that knee up to your chest. Relax the shoulders. And take down the leg and shake it out. We're going to get back onto the mat and try a decent bridge pose to get the core muscles fired up. Take one of those blocks, if it's not a block, a cushion. In between your thighs, bring the feet nice and close to your bum. Lie right back. The feet are apart, they're not touching, and they're pointing straight ahead of you. We start with a pelvic tilt, great for the spine. Lower down the lower back to the mat, this is your pelvic tilt, and then release the lower back off the mat. Lower it down again, pressing the spine all the way onto the mat. Tail is coming in between the thighs there, and then slowly lower the other direction. So it's like your pelvis tilts one way, pelvis tilts the other. All the while I'm supporting that block in between my thighs. So arms out, palms up. Next time I press my lower back to the mat, I'm slowly, slowly, slowly lifting the hips up a little bit more. A little bit more, and a little bit more. I want you to think about the rib cage. I want you to pull the rib cage down a little bit. I want you to think about the pelvis, push the pelvis up a little bit. Give the block a gentle squeeze. Push down into the feet. Relax those shoulders. 6 deep breaths. You've already done about 3 or 4. Ribs down, pelvis up, block squeeze. And then slowly lower down. Let the top part of your back come down first. Then the middle part of the back. Then the lower back. Then the bum. Take out the block. By all means at home, pause the video, try 3 or 4 repeats of that. Your bum will know all about it. Rock and roll the knees into your chest. Slowly let the feet come down. Bring the knees all the way in one direction. Knees all the way up and over in the opposite direction. And then come back to the center. Take your time rolling to your side. Bring yourself up. You've just done a few minutes of physio-led yoga. Well done. Namaste. Hope you liked a little taster of it. You have my email address, orla@performanceyoga.ie. Leave a comment below if there are any questions. Hopefully there'll be a few more videos coming up in the near future. That's the plan. Well done. Namaste.